What's up, YouTube and fellow Pink Floyd fans alike? This review video, I'm going to do the seventh studio album by Pink Floyd and their second and final studio album to be a soundtrack album as well, Obscured by Clouds, which came out in 1972, so a year after their transitional album Metal and the year before one of their biggest magnum opuses of all time, Dark Side of the Moon. I guess I'll just say, again, just going back to the fact that it's a soundtrack album, as opposed to where I stand with More, their first soundtrack album, their third studio album. This soundtrack album kind of, in my opinion, sounds like it can stand well on its own feet. Like it feels like you don't really need the movie, or you don't really feel like you do need the movie in order to see the entire music unfold or just get a touch of what's going on. This one seems like it pretty much, again, stands on its own leg with its own music. And, even though it's a soundtrack album, it definitely feels like it acts more like a studio album sometimes more than just a soundtrack album, where it feels vice versa for More. With that being said, I think out of the again, this is one of those albums that just gets better after better than their predecessors, and I can definitely say hands down, out of the first seven, I guess, forgotten albums of Pink Floyd, this one is, in my opinion, their best one. Like, not only does it feature a lot of sounds that are from their previous albums, but it also introduces like a whole, I guess, lack of better expression, a whole new twist to it, to where a lot of the songs are soft rock to rock rock songs as well. And I don't know, it's definitely just a great album. There's only 10 tracks on the whole album. Usually from the 2, 3 to 4 to 5, usually from 2 to 4 minutes long. There's only 2 songs that pass the 5-minute mark, and the longest song is only 5 minutes and 50 seconds long, which is the closing track on the album, which is called Absolute Certainty. But anyway, like I said, this album, even the individual songs stand on their own, which really got me into wanting to listen to this album and the other 6 before this one. So this is the album that kind of, I guess, really got me into wanting to hear all of Pink Floyd's albums, and then in doing so, it kind of led to me doing these review videos. So in a sense, Obscured by Clouds is the album that kind of lead to all these reviews for Pink Floyd, and even though it's not my first idea to do a review video, I'm glad that Pink Floyd was my first option to do so. And again, it's because of this 1972 album. Like I said, not a bad song in the whole album. It definitely feels like, since their departure of Syd Barrett, when they were making A Saucer Full of Secrets, their second album, it sounds like everything in between now and this one was their experimental phase. But it definitely sounds like, Obscured by Clouds, they have definitely reached their comfort zone. And I don't think anybody would expect their next album to be The Dark Side of the Moon, let alone with the quality and everything that it has in Dark Side of the Moon. But the fact that most of their albums seem to progress and make sense one right after the other, it makes sense that Obscured by Clouds would be the predecessor to Dark Side of the Moon, even though Metal would be the more attention-giving one out of the 2 albums. I definitely feel like Obscured by Clouds is definitely an underrated album. It's by far, well, maybe not by far, but it's definitely better than Metal in my opinion. Like I said, it sounds like Obscured by Clouds is when they finally got through all those experimental albums from Saucer Full of Secrets to Metal, which is their transitional album, a lot of fans and critics say. It feels like this when they finally found their right music, they finally reached their comfort zone just in time for them to make their Roger Waters-led era, started with Dark Side of the Moon and ending all the way as far as the final cut, which would show out 11 years after Obscured by Clouds would come out. But I could definitely say I'd give this album a 10 out of 10, 100% in my opinion. Great album. It's one of the last few albums where all the artists kind of actually contributed together. And like I said, it's the last album of the first 7 albums that not a lot of people know about, and it's the, I'm just repeating myself, it's the one before Dark Side of the Moon. But like I said, great album. I definitely think it's underrated. I would advise anybody, even if you haven't seen the movie or let alone know what the movie is. I haven't seen the movie, nor have I seen the movie more. But even if you haven't seen the movie, or if you have, I would definitely recommend this album. If you're a fan of the Pink Floyd era that everybody knows, again, starting from Dark Side of the Moon onward, but you want to explore your venues a little more, I would definitely start with this album, kind of like I did by accident, and then just work your way from hearing every album from the order they're released onward. That means, I guess, hearing this album and then just going back to their roots with their debut album, Piper at the Gates Dawn, and then just listen to every album, again, the way they came out. But, again, great album. Not really much more I can say to that. Yeah, definitely, I think this one deserves a lot more credibility than it gets. I kind of wish this one had a lot of attention that metal gets, let alone more attention than metal does. But all in all, great album. I recommend it to anybody, even if you're not a Pink Floyd fan, if you just want to listen to fun, relaxing music. And again, this is another summer album, in my opinion, like how metal was and kind of Atomic Heart Mother. Even though I kind of figure Atomic Heart Mother is a little more of a springtime album than anything, if that makes sense. But yeah, I would, like I said, definitely 2 thumbs up for Obscured by Clouds, 100%, so a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. And I guess after this video, it's now on to the albums that everybody knows about. Starting with, well, I mean, you obviously know the album because I mentioned it 3 times now. But anyway, that's my review of the 7th album, Obscured by Clouds by Pink Floyd. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I wasn't too enthusiastic and sloppy and stuttery with it. And hopefully with this album being with the next albums being a lot more known to people, I could probably be a lot more fluent with it, knock on wood, I guess. But anyway, that's my review. I'm more than happy to be done with the first 7 albums. Not that I didn't like them, but it was just definitely a great experience, like it was listening to said albums. And I just can't wait to the future videos now. And I'm glad that the 7th and final one was, again, this one. It definitely made sense as the conclusion to that, I guess, era of Pink Floyd. And I guess with that being said, I bid you all goodwill. Thank you for watching this movie. Thank you for watching this review. And I hope to anybody that went this far into the video or just now tuning in, just if you decide to click on this part of the video for some random reason. With that being said, and with me running out of things to say to add for filler, have a good one and peace out.